What's going on, YouTube? My name's Turtle Spy. We're back for another video. It's been a while since I've posted anything. I've had some stuff going on in real life, so sorry for the wait on this third episode. But now I'm back, and I got a lot recorded, so we're going to be doing mostly a montage for this episode. I've been doing a lot of work in different parts of my world, including starting the base I plan to do. I haven't planned anything creative, so it's going to be a work in progress for a while, I'm assuming. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. As you can see in this clip here, I had started to lay out a foundation for the build. I'm pretty sure at this point it wasn't the final shape because I wasn't, happy with how it was looking, and I wanted something a little bit more symmetrical. That's why there's the wood on the bottom, aside from just the dirt layer I had there. So right now I'm trying to build it all up so it's at a height where you can actually see the shape I'm going for. So I'll skip ahead and we'll get to that. Alright, as you can see, we're up to the dirt layer that I had placed down at first. I was originally going to terraform a little bit to make this kind of little area between the mountains higher, but I decided to just go with a building and kind of fit it in the pre-existing area. Yep, as you can see from here, this is the shape I went with. It's kind of unconventional, but I like how it's not just like a square or a oval or something. It's got curves, and it's going to get more intricate as I build, but first of all, I got a lot of clearing out to do. At this point, I didn't have netherite yet, so I had to go repair my shovel with my Enderman farm. Not sure if I put this in the last video. I'm gonna have to double check, but yeah, I went ahead and built up a, what do people call it, ender or whatever, because I just, getting XP every other way just takes so long. So yeah, I'll have this for the rest of the playthrough. Alright, and before I even went back to digging again, I decided I needed to rectify the issue of having the lower durability, so I decided this seemed like a decent area to go ahead and build a staircase down to netherite levels. If you don't know, it's Y level 15, obviously. And this was just an easy fly down from where my portals were. So, I didn't have to go super far to get to a safe area. So I'll go ahead and do a little bit of a, a cut here, and we'll come back once I have netherite. Now, usually my method for finding netherite is using beds, but I hadn't quite gotten a wool farm set up yet, so I just decided to, try my luck with a pickaxe. I know some people just do it this way every time. I haven't had luck with it in the past, but I said, screw it, I'll try it this time. So yeah, it seemed to be pretty good, what you're about to see. So yeah, let's jump to it. I said that, but I forgot to hit recording again. But as you can see, I have 6 ingots there, so that's going to be, I think I do most of my armor and then a couple of my equipment. We're about to do it, so once I do that, I will come back. And there we have it. Got the pickaxe, axe, shovel, and everything but my chest plate, netherite. I'm pretty sure eventually I go back and get enough for my sword and the other pickaxe, but for now this will have to do. Not sure if I fully showed off this little house I made, but I decided to put up a little base here near the original villager trading I had going on because it was so close to that village. It had, just a minimal amount of storage in the enchantment room up top, but it was something to live in, and, I didn't go all out on the details, so it's not super detailed. But it was something. It was the first little build in my world. So before we move into the mega base, that was it did the job. This is also at a time where I had tried to build a creeper farm by memory alone, and so it wasn't very effective. As you can see, I was still using the water elevator I had just to get up there. Eventually, I go back and change the build. I used one of Waddle's designs for the 1.21. If I can figure out how to link it below, I will, because it's it's very easy to build and super efficient, especially if you have looting on your sword. But until I do that, I was really struggling to keep a decent amount of rockets, so I was trying to use as little as I could. As you can see here, now that my tools are upgraded, I was ready to go back to digging out this area so I could get a nice flat foundation so I could start building a storage room and pretty much anything else I needed at the time. This was quite a while ago, so I don't remember exactly what I did first. Maybe about 2 weeks ago. Like I said, I had things going on, but yeah, I had to get rid of this whole little like wireframe I had planned out because it just didn't fit with what I had changed to. So yeah, I'll go ahead and cut up a little bit of the montage of destroying this little part of the mountain, and then we'll come back and see what happens next. The sheer amount of wood I used to frame out this build was actually nuts. Basically, that entire forest off to my left right here is cut down just to get this first little wall up. And I still haven't built a tree farm, which I need to do soon. You might be wondering why I'm framing it with just wood. Like I said, I haven't planned out the build, so I'm just trying to get a general shape. I'll probably layer some sorts of stone on the outside and detail it so it looks better, but I just wanted to get a general frame and sizing for what I wanted the build to look like. And at this point, the easiest thing to get in high quantities was wood, especially because it's easy to take down. Like, I could always just burn it all away from the inside if I need to. So yeah, that's why I'm doing that. Alright, right here I decided to get a little bit of an aerial view, which didn't happen much at this point because, as you can see, I only have 7 rockets. But see, now you can see the general shape coming together. Well, to be fair, it's only just like the rough first shape. I plan to add a pillar on, well, I would say every corner, but you'll see when we get there. Alright, we got a little bit of a jump ahead because some of my video files got corrupted as I was editing this video the first time around. I had put together a bunch of splices of different clips, and I don't know what happened. Windows updated or something, and all of my files got corrupted. So we're just gonna have to accept that we're here now and move on. So as you can see, I decided to put in a floor at this Y level and started on the storage room I was doing here, which I'm using copper golems to sort my stuff, and it's gonna wrap all the way around. So they'll, you know, cycle through every chest, and if it's not there, pass it on to the next group. And you know, on and on until it gets to the end, which is like an overfill chest, which I've already done at this point. But where we are in the video, obviously it's not even halfway done. Took a lot more wood for all those chests. I had to get all the copper golems in place, and yeah. So let's go ahead and jump ahead real quick. I just wanted to show you how I was doing this. It's not, I didn't watch a tutorial on how to make one of these copper golem sorting systems or anything like that, so I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but this is just the way I learned how to do it, because I originally tried messing around with copper golems for the first time on a multiplayer realm I was on. But after learning what I did from that, basically this is the culmination of that. So now with the chests set up how they are, there shouldn't be as much error with the copper golem sorting logic, because the first time I did it, they would miss the first couple chests in each section quite a bit. Maybe because they were too close to the copper chest or something. I'm not really sure. I don't know exactly how they work. It's very interesting. But yeah, so as you can see, we have 9 double chests there lined up, and there's the 10th one. So if the item they're holding isn't in one of those first 9, they'll drop it in that 10th chest, which is always empty because it's going to have hoppers feeding into the next copper chest. And this, I mean, in theory, allows for perfect sorting automatically without having to use item filters and whatnot. In practice, it's not as good because sometimes the copper golems just decide not to check every chest they have for some reason. I'm not sure why, but you know, what can you do? Also, I ran into an issue with having multiple copper golems in each section. They would get stuck on each other, even though there was plenty of room for them to pathfind around each other. For some reason, they just don't. I don't know if that's just like a fault with the code or what, but yeah, so it's a little bit slower than I'd like, but it's automatic, so I can't really complain too much. But yeah, I'll go ahead and jump ahead. This is the point where I started to originally put in my, well, I would say, item sorting, but just, you know, get the items I wanted in each chest so that the copper golems would know where to put what. And I decided to display what was in it by just putting a block in front there. You know, the top row chest, the blocks are above, the bottom row, the blocks are below. And that makes it pretty easy to tell what's what. And yeah, also at this point, I decided to try and figure out what I was going to do to decorate this room. I wasn't sure exactly what design I was going to go for, but I have rarely used quartz in the past. Not only because it can be hard to get, but also because it's so white, it's hard to match with anything else. But I figured this room I wanted to look quite grand and regal because it's so big and open that a block like quartz would work pretty well. Also because other blocks would, you know, stick out quite well against quartz, since quartz is very, you know, bright and blank. So any textures against quartz are going to stand out, as you can see there. But yeah, I know I go back to the Nether quite a few times trying to get enough quartz to finish this room, which I'm at the point of recording this, I'm still not done. But yeah, I'll go ahead and stop talking here and we'll get back to it. Here's where we can see that issue I mentioned with the copper golems getting stuck on each other. As you can see, one has a leaf in his hands and the other is trying to work his way back to the copper chest. And even though there's plenty of room there, there's like, what, 2.5 blocks wide for them to get by each other, they just refuse to path around each other and are just forever blocked there. So if you guys know a workaround so I can, you know, have multiple golems in the same area without this happening, leave a comment down below and let me know, because with just one in each area, it is, you know, quite a bit slower than I'd like. But, you know, if it's slow, at least it's working, because when they get stuck, then nothing's being sorted and it's just overflowing in that first chest. So yeah, if you guys know anything, let me know and let's get back to it. While I'm just mining this blackstone, I will say I was kind of surprised how much netherite I was finding in these blackstone deposits. Usually when trying to find netherite, I avoid them because it takes so much longer to mine blackstone, especially without a beacon. But honestly, now that I know that netherite can actually spawn inside these clumps, I might actually just start digging them out, because not only is it nice having the extra blackstone, because I think it's a really nice building block, especially because it can be turned into all sorts of different, you know, variations, but the fact that you also can get netherite here it's pretty nice. So yeah. Here we'll get a nice aerial view so you can see what I was working on. As you can see, we're going to do a little bit of a white and then black, just squares around. I think it actually turned out quite good once it's finished. It might be hard to tell now because, you know, I still got a lot, like hundreds of more quartz to place and a lot more blackstone. And I need to move the bed and all that other stuff to the middle at some point as well, because the middle is basically just like one strip of, it would have been blackstone for that layer, but I just replaced it with, like, you know, crafting tables, furnaces, stone cutter, bed, really all the, you know, utility blocks. So yeah, I think it looks really good now, so let's go ahead and get closer to it being finished. Apparently it's not blackstone, it's quartz in the middle, but you know, you get the idea. Before finishing the floor, I took a little bit of a detour and went to an ancient city. We're not in it yet, obviously. This is just like the deep dark biome, which is actually surprisingly close to the base. I guess it's not really surprising since I built it in a mountain biome. There's always a chance for the ancient cities to spawn there, but I figured I'd grab some of these sculk blocks since I had silk touch, and I think I was just getting any kind of resources I needed. I know I was running low on iron at the time. I didn't have a working iron farm, Oh yeah, and here we go. Here's the ancient city. But yeah, I won't show too much of this because it's not that exciting. I just go around looting all the chests. But yeah, let's get through it. This is where I found Swift Sneak 3, which I was really happy about. I did actually end up spawning the Warden here, which was a little scary, so at this point I'm like, you know what? I think I've overstayed my welcome. I think it's time to leave. Here you can see what the base looks like from afar. I think it looks really good. It's still very basic, but I like what we got going on, and I'm excited to get it finished. Alright, I'm gonna have to apologize again because of the things I had going on. I guess my mind wasn't right and I forgot to record this part, but I had used a happy gas to move the villagers over to my new base, which is just behind me from where I'm at right now. I decided to build this little villager area. I'm gonna make a tower that basically has the breeding area at the bottom, and then every floor above it, which 3 or 4 floors it'll just be automatic farmers. So you know, one floor will do potatoes that'll throw it to a dude in a minecart and it'll funnel it down to the bottom. One floor will have carrots, and then the other floors can have wheat. And then on top of that, I have the villager trading area. It's not very, you know, conventional or optimized or anything like that, but I like doing it this way. I think it's kind of neat. So yeah, let me get back to it. Here's a little bit of a better angle. As you can see, that's going to be a tower there right next to my base. I'll probably have a bridge connecting the two at some point. At this point, I was just going around mining coal, iron, any, you know, surface level materials because I was extremely low on stuff. So yeah. Also, you can see that the floor is almost done now, and I moved all those utility stuff into the middle. I think it looks pretty good. It keeps everything in the central area, so no matter what chest I'm grabbing out of, I can always just run to the middle to craft and whatever. Got the 2 chests there to load into the copper chest to start the process. But yeah, let's see what else I got going on. Also, one of the quality of life mods I'm using has this light overlay. I think this one's from MiniHUD. But it makes it so it tells you exactly what the light level is in certain areas, which I find very useful because I don't want mobs just randomly spawning around my base. So having something like this makes it really easy to make sure that, you know, there's no chance of that happening. Here's where I finally finish up the floor. I, you know, made that water column so I could finally close up that staircase that I had been using. So now the main part of the floor is officially done, and I actually like the design. It's not super complex, obviously, but I think it's clean, it's neat, and I think it'll fit the, you know, the whole vibe of this room really well. We're gonna skip a little bit ahead again here. At this point, I had finished that first level of wheat and had gotten both the villagers and all the crops down for the carrot level, which is directly above it. As you can see, I almost have the roof done there, because after that I'll be working on the potato level. As you can see, I already got wheat flowing down there, so it's working good. So yeah, let's keep going. I did end up having some issues with the villagers losing their trades because they weren't able to get to their job block, but eventually I, you know, rectified this by trading with them so that no matter what, they couldn't lose their trades, and that seemed to help a lot. So if you guys do build villager trading, or villager farms like this, make sure that you trade with them, because if you do that, there is no possible way they'll lose their job. And even if they walk too far away from the other villager, like, well, obviously, because I built mine bigger than you need it, and probably bigger than it should be, But even if they walk far enough away, eventually they'll come back and get back in range and continue doing their thing since they're still a farmer. So yeah. And as you can see here, I got the potato level started. I have both the villagers up there. I don't quite have enough potatoes to fill out the whole floor yet, so I'll have to keep working on that before I close it off. I also ran into some more issues with, you know, the villager trades and stuff like that before completely finishing all 3 floors, so I don't know if I'll cut that out or not, but yeah, let's keep going. And by let's keep going, I mean, I have to end the video here because I'm running out of time to record this today, and I don't want to save this recording to finish later, because if it corrupts again, I'm going to lose hours of work. So I'll just continue the series probably in a couple days. I'll have another video out because, like I said, I still have some recordings saved up, so I won't, you know, we won't go 2 weeks without a video again, or however long it was. I think it was getting close to a month. But yeah, I appreciate all the support on these videos. I'm gonna hopefully keep them coming out a little bit more frequently. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.